What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bean and Chisme Show. You guys, this is episode number 10,765. I have lost count, but I'm so excited about tonight's episode. We are live in San Antonio, Texas at VodPod Media, and I have very special guests with us tonight, Carlito Miranda and Chris Perez of Grupo Metal. And of course, my very special friend, Myra Cano, is coming on later. But before we get to the tea of the latest and greatest, we have a message from our sponsors who make this show possible. New Start Program is a group of individuals dedicated to men and women 18 and up who may be suffering with substance abuse. So if you know someone who needs help with methamphetamine, alcohol, marijuana, and more, this could be the program for them. It's free to the community as long as you live in Bexar County. So if you know someone who may need some help, refer them in the link in the comments, and you can also go to the link in our bio. Alamo Biscuit Company is my favorite breakfast, brunch, and lunch spot here in San Antonio. They have the most unique menu I've ever seen. You guys, they take biscuits to a whole new level. Go ahead and visit my friends at Alamo Biscuit Company on Huebner. You won't regret it. Let's smash the stigma, you guys. SMASH is a group of individuals in Bexar County who help men 18 and up with sexual health resources, whether it's mental health, HIV testing, PrEP, lubricant, and so much more. We want to smash the stigma of HIV and sexual health because everybody does it. It's not a big deal. And of course, you can get help. So if you or someone you know are interested in joining in this free program, click the link in the comments or go to the link in the bio. Touch of Serenity Mobile Massage is my favorite massage therapist. Her name is Monica Rodriguez. And let me tell you, she has magic hands. Whether you go to her office or she goes to your home, she is mobile. And of course, they do couples massage, so much more. She is the best in town. You want to follow Touch of Serenity Mobile Massage right now. All right, you guys, welcome back. And I am honored to introduce to you our special guests tonight, Carlito Miranda and, of course, Chris Perez. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. It's always good to be back in San Antonio.
You made it. You made it on the Bean and Chisme show finally.
Yes, we did.
Made it. Bean and Chisme.
You know, somebody told me that you two are chismosos yourselves. Is this true?
In between us, yeah, like every morning when we have our cup of coffee, yeah.
And pan dulce?
Well, you know, no.
More him than me, though.
Yeah.
If we're being honest. Did you hear? And so. And I'm like, what? I don't even know. But every now and again, if I get a call, then I'll call him. He's the first one I call.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'm going to be in that circle one day. I'm determined. So, you guys, big news. Grupo Metal is touring, and you guys are now gigging. You guys have an album coming out, but you have music.
Yes.
Tell me everything.
Well, you know, Metal has been around, the name has been around since the 90s. We did rock en español. But if I can rewind and start from the beginning, I wanted to do Tejano music, one, because my father he had a name. I was the son of, Carlos Miranda Jr., and my dad was Carlos Miranda, who was a legendary singer who did Chicano music. Now it's called Tejano music, but he came from that era, and then I got the bug and wanted to figure it out, and I did it on my own pretty much, and then I get the opportunity to open up for Selena Los Dinos, So it was.
How old were you when that happened?
Man, I was early 20s, 19, probably 20, around there. And I got that opportunity, and I was Carlos Miranda Jr., so I needed a name for the band, I guess. And that's where the name Grupo Metal came from,
That.
And soon after that, I mean, I did that whole thing of about good 2-3 years, touring. And then at that time, it was like Tuesday through Sunday.
What?
There was Tejano clubs everywhere.
Oh my gosh, I'm low-key jealous of that era because I was just too young enough to go, but all my tias and my cousins would go, and I wasn't able to go.
Yeah.
Tejano rodeo. Do y'all remember like your favorite?
Oh, Desperados for sure. Yes. I used to freak out that it was Nickel night for beer.
Oh my gosh.
Nickel.
Don't age us.
That sounds pretty old, right? But if you ask, I think people would want it now. They're like, a nickel?
Hell yeah. We'd all be drunk.
Yeah, T-Town.
T-Town, okay.
Reflex is another one. Reflex. I mean, there was just so many Tejano clubs here in San Antonio. But during those times, you would have shows during the week, you know, like Rosedale Park, Tejano Sundays, you know, things of that nature. So, man, I wanted to do Tejano, you know, I wanted to. I thought it would be my forte. I gave it a shot, and it just, it wasn't my thing for some reason, you know. And soon after that, I ended up going with La Mafia, you know, touring with those guys. Those guys are the Rolling Stones of the onda, you know what I mean? And I had the opportunity to do that, and that's when I first got my first CD with Sony Discos at that time. And then I was Carlito, you know, at that time. And then, you know, of course, everybody knows what happened to the industry and so on and so on. And so I came across this rock en español kind of clubs called Bomboleo, you know, and it was just a different scene. It caught my attention, one, because of all the beautiful women that were in there.
Where was it at? Here?
It was right there off of Fredericksburg and 410.
Okay. So
it was a small club, like not even 300 people could fit in it, you know. But they were just so dressed up. Hugo Boss, Versace, you know, everybody had a nice car. They were just in a different world. I call it the Luis Miguel era.
Was this before Planeta Mexico?
Yes, it was before Planeta Mexico.
Okay, got it. Because I was a part of that tail end of that. But
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So I got into that scene, and then I started hanging around with that scene. And next thing you know, I come across Planeta Mexico, which was another level of difference from Tejano to this. So I was like, okay, cowboy hats and Wranglers and you know, and then all of a sudden you have this Hugo Boss, Versace kind of style of people, you know. I think they call them fresas, you know.
Muy, muy.
So it was super cool, and I get the opportunity, you know. They asked me, you know, once they found out I was a singer, they asked if I would put a group together and if I wanted to be the house band at Planeta Mexico. And of course, I wanted to do it, but it was for all the wrong reasons.
Okay.
Because it was just such a beautiful crowd.
Right.
You know, and it was such a great time. And when I heard the music, I'll be honest, I just did not like the music. I just was not used to it.
Like
and
Maná style.
It was Maná. It was Anitos Verdes. Yeah, it didn't.
I wasn't there.
It didn't.
I missed all
you
the
weren't
fun.
till-
I
okay.
missed all the fun.
It didn't grab me because I actually said, I think this is gonna suck. You know what I mean?
What?
And I'll never forget it. And his name is Paul Garza. He is the guy, is the responsible for making what Metal ended up doing, because he was like, learn it. Trust me. It's gonna work.
Who is Paul?
He used to be a DJ for Planeta Mexico.
Okay.
And he was also a disc jockey for like those Spanish stations that were going on around here.
Okay.
And like Amor or whatever, you know. So anyway, he was always in the mix, you know. And we did our first show, and you would have thought we were known. And it was only because we imitated the songs the same way that they knew them as. And sure enough, that was it. As soon as I saw that, I was like, all right. It's like us when we were opening up for Selena, we had to learn David Lee, other songs, you know, Fito Olivares.
Covers.
Yeah, the covers, you know. And you would play the ones that were hit that everybody knew, you know. So it was the same thing, just different style of music. And then once that caught on, to me, I can look back and say, man, I pretty much had a residency there at Planeta Mexico. And I literally had the keys to that place.
What?
Just to go and rehearse. Like, they trusted me that much with it.
Wow. Well, if you're not from San Antonio, Planeta Mexico was like the club, but it was for, you know, Spanish music. And it wasn't just hip hop, and it was just a totally different vibe, like he was saying, for the fresas. And for us who grew up Tejanos, it was different for us because we got to mingle with the internationals who would come over here from, you know, all the Monterrey and the
Laredo,
even people from the valley would
McAllen,
come up. Everybody
like
who would move up
everybody.
here would go. That was like their style of music.
Well, anybody that went to college here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Very true.
UTSA, you know.
I was
Carnival.
EYW, so everybody in my dorm was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
It was all about. They were all about Planeta Mexico.
Well, the crazy thing about it is that was the weekends, you know, and what a great time. I opened up for Moenia. I opened up for La Ley. I got to meet Beto Cuevas during that time. Alejandra Guzman. You know, I got to really see those types of bands. I mean, because everybody knows who they are now,
Right.
but I got to see them in their era. You know what
That's
I mean? Of
crazy.
what it was like. You know, and that was kind of like my Fifth Avenue, I guess, of like where Prince was with the time in that movie Purple Rain. It was kind of like that atmosphere, like that. You
That's
know,
crazy.
and got
The
to see all
spot.
the bands that would come through there. It was great. It was awesome.
So how did this bromance, because we're going to call it a bromance, because that's what it is. It's a friendship, a one of a kind, once in a lifetime. Tell me.
Okay, well, again, going back, I was, you know, my dad would bring me these albums
Okay.
of other bands. You know what I mean? Because he was with Freddie Records, and there is a band called La Sombra.
Okay.
And so they were young kids, and my dad would be like, hey, debes escuchar estos hijos, you know? Look at them, they're young, and they're playing, you know, whatever. And I'd be like, all right. I kind of got into them, you know, because they were young. They were wearing the rock gear, you know, performing long hair, you know, all that stuff. Well, anyway,
you went to see him live a couple of times.
yeah,
too,
I went to
right?
go see
La
them
Sombra.
live.
Okay.
Yeah. So my dad and them were on
They
the
were like
same label.
what Bruno Mars and his
Yes.
band look like on stage right
Yes.
now. And you know how they
Yes.
do all the synchronized movements and things
dancing.
like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly how.
That's
well, yeah,
exactly.
pretty much.
Yeah, no, if you see Bruno Mars, to me, I'm like, that's La Sombra right there.
What?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
need to
dude,
know
they were
about this. Okay.
Because they would wear all matching clothing, and the girls would go crazy for this band, you know, and Tejano, you know,
wild.
young girls and all that. And so they would pack it. And so every school year, any graduation of San Marcos or Seguin, that was the band that got hired to do the graduation dance.
Okay.
So everybody would want to go see these guys. Anyway, make a long story short, that one of the guys of the group ends up quitting, right? So it was kind of a big deal.
Like,
It was
somebody
kind of a
from
big
La
deal that he
Sombra.
quit,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
During that time, and you know, he had charisma. You know, he had an opportunity to figure it out. So I followed the guy. You know, I followed him. I got to meet him. Well, he would invite me to his rehearsals. So being that I always wanted to hear what he was gonna do, I went to go see them, and that's when I met Chris. Chris was his guitar player in that band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had been, I might have been about 18,
Yeah.
19 maybe. And I had been playing around town with different bands, right? I started off doing the rock thing here locally. And then one of my best friends, who is Shelly Lodge's cousin, told me about this Tejano band and this Tejano, you know, music, which of course I always related it to, like, you know, for quinceañeras or at weddings, because that's the
Yeah, you
only
were like,
time
"There's
I
no
ever
way."
heard it, or my grandmother was playing it on the radio, and I was like, oh, you know, so
Like, oh, I have to hear this. 'cause
yeah,
you weren't about it.
but what he said was, hey, we could make some money doing it. I was like, "Root." I heard the record scratch because I had these odd jobs at the same time, right? Because I had a place I was sharing that I had to, you know, pay half the bills and all that, and music wasn't doing it. So I went and we did you know, when he told me that, I was like, all right, you know what, I'll try it out. So that happened to be Shelly before she had her first record out and all that, and
Fun facts, y'all.
yeah, so we
Chris
got
was
to
Shelly
yeah. That was my first introduction.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we did that and wrote a couple of songs together and did a record together. But then that was when Albert had all that stuff. Tiger, I guess.
Yeah,
we'd call him.
Tiger.
All that stuff happened, and we started becoming friends. And then we put something together, and then that's how he and I ended up meeting. And then it was just kind of, we found out we liked the same kind of music,
Okay.
the rock kind of stuff, and so we just started hanging out and listening to music, and you know, just kind of
Vibing it out.
yeah, just becoming
Other
real,
activities, you know.
you know, older teenage kids back in the day.
But you went to McCollum?
No. A couple of
Jeff-
my cousins went to McCollum. No, I went to Jefferson High
You
School.
went to Jefferson. But
Yeah.
you're from Seguin, Texas.
Seguin, yeah. But I hung around here a lot in
Okay.
San Antonio.
Well, yeah, because if you're in Seguin,
And
you're
you know,
always here,
yeah, I
right?
mean, Seguin and San Antonio, it's the same amount, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in San Antonio, and to me, the greatest years of being in San Antonio, like I utilized it. It's like someone saying, I went to LA and you lived on the Sunset Strip. Like
Yes.
in so many ways, it was like that. So those clubs of Tejano music, I met tons of
Dude,
people.
I gotta say, but Carlos has a way. I don't know. I haven't figured it out, or maybe it's just not my way of going about things. But Carlos always ends up either backstage at concerts
You're that
or
guy.
or meeting whoever the artist is that's gonna be, the headlining act, or in the front row. And I'm like there
This
in a
guy.
whole other section, and I see him walking in front of the stage, and I'm like, how in the hell did look?
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, or he has no problem. And I think it's cool, but he has no problem. Like when he sees somebody, he's like, hey, he'll go right up to him and he can start talking to him, and he knows how to get them to start talking to him. And then they're just laughing like they've known each other forever. And I think one of the last times was we were at the airport. And a lot of times I'm the one that spots these celebrities, but I don't ever go up to them. I'm just like, hey, dude.
So you see them,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "I'll go do it."
Yeah, like one of the last times we were at the airport, and where was it with Tom Morello?
LAX.
We were at LAX, and I was facing where you have to
Yeah,
come
you're
in,
in
and
front
he
of
had his
me, you're in
back to
front
the
of me.
door, and I saw him walk in, and I was like, I didn't say anything. He went and he sat down, and I said, hey, dude, whatever you do, don't turn around. And this has happened more than once. Whenever I say, hey, whatever you
Yeah.
do, don't turn around.
Who? What?
Right? Yeah.
You're that
and
guy.
I said, Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, shut up. Shut
Yeah.
up. And he turns around, he sees him, he goes, I'm going to go talk to him. Ends up being that dude's birthday. They end up taking a
They
shot
took a
together.
shot.
and
Oh my
It's
Rage
happened.
Against the
gosh.
Machine.
It's happened
Yeah.
a few times, with this dude. And-
That's
But you know what, man?
wild.
When I look back at it, I don't think about what I'm gonna do or what I'm gonna say. What really got me, because I saw him and I was like, okay, yeah, Rage Against the Machine. It was his birthday, whatever. But then the light bulb really came on
Oh, yeah.
when Chris goes, Audio Slave, and I'm like, fucking Chris Cornell,
yeah.
the singer from
One of our
Soundgarden,
favorite
Okay.
singers, yeah.
which is
He
They
was
weren't a
where?
band together.
one of my
They weren't a band
favorite.
together.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like
like
he passed away.
Yeah,
That's right.
But
Okay.
one of my idols of singers, like everybody loved Chris Cornell. And then that's what really made me go up to this guy. I was like, shit, And he's like, yeah, man. We start talking, whatever. And I'm like, do you mind if I take it? He's like, dude, let me do it. So he got my phone and took the picture. So, I mean, I look at things of that. When am I ever going to come around here again? Like, when am I ever going to be in this spot again?
Yeah,
Right?
and so
You
now
know.
he's friends with everybody.
Yeah.
We're walking through HEB and Ram at us inside HEB, and he's like, "Hey,
my
Carlitos," and I'm like, "Oh, everybody knows him now because he's been doing what he does for so many years, And a lot of the guys even would go see him.
Yeah.
When he had Metal at Madison Avenue, myself included. Like when I was in town, because I think back then I was doing I had my own solo thing with that rock alternative record, and then I was also jamming with AB in the Kings,
Okay.
Columbia Kings.
Okay.
So I was never really home. But when I was,
But when-
I would go check him out. But this is when he was tearing it up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Thank you for the segue because I've been dying to talk about this only because I'm San Antonio native, right?
Yeah.
I don't talk about my age right now, but in my college era, Madison Avenue, that whole little complex right there on Babcock and Heebner, Jackrabbits, and there was like another one. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, Picasso's.
Oh my God. Okay, so these clubs were the thing in college, and it was a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
You were here. Like,
Yeah.
you weren't anywhere else but here. And so I remember you very specifically in your band because it was so good, and his vocals were fucking sick, right? And so everybody was there, but I have to admit, that was the first time I blacked out drunk. Like, I'm not a drinker. That was the first and the last.
Oh,
so
you weren't the only
The
one.
congratulations.
last? Oh,
last,
I was gonna say
hombre.
because Metal has a history
History.
of
Oh, I
having
know.
people black out at their concerts.
Dude, first time ever, and people just giving you shots, and it was always a vibe and a good time. And I wish I could encapsulate that era of time. Like, do you know when you have that moment where you're just like, oh, I wish I could remember those
Well,
days.
again,
Like,
thank God for recording camcorders. I have camcorders recording of Madison Avenue.
we have some footage if you want to play it, Guylan, while we're talking. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, just it. When I think about Steel Panther from LA, I guess I can say that we were that band like that because if Santana was in town, Andy and Carl, and of course the conguero who's no longer here with us, Rowley, they would come to the shows. The Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, like bringing the bus, of the Dallas Cowboys, seeing the Star bus outside.
Was that you at Madison Avenue?
What's that?
Was that y'all at Madison Avenue? Like Grupo Metal rolling up and...
No, people thought it was our bus though. They thought it was, and it looked cool. It made it look cool. It made it look cool. But,
got it.
But the training camp was going on over here. I don't know if you remember that at the Alamo Dome. They had a training camp going on.
Okay.
So these guys were looking somewhere to party, and they went to Madison Avenue on Tuesday night. Yeah. And again, Baby Bash in his prime, when he was, he's still kicking ass out there, but he was one of them. Frankie J, of course, Paul Rodriguez, different art. Chris, we got Chris to come out. Because if there was one song Emilio Navaira, Emilio would come out, And, we had this anthem of Sweet Child of Mine that Madison Avenue was like the last song.
Madison Avenue.
There's me and Oscar. Look at that.
Is that who it is in the black
That's
hat?
Oscar from Lamont.
Okay,
that's my
who
birthday.
Is that? Okay.
That's on my birthday. He came. I invited him. I didn't think he was gonna show up, and he did.
Dude.
But if you look at, you can see the people that were out there. I mean, look how packed that place was.
It was always like that. I just remember.
Look at that.
Oh, look, that's.
There's you right there holding
right now. Look, there I am right there. I'm just kidding. But oh my gosh, yeah, like it was wild times. It was so good. So how long did that era last? Like a couple years? Like I don't remember. Was it like 4
I
years?
never had to work anywhere else. That's for sure. Like it was, it got me. I'm a businessman now.
Okay.
But before I got to Madison Avenue.
What are you doing, Chris?
Yeah, there you are, bro.
Wow.
Wait, is that wait?
That was Adriel. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's not you though. Okay, got it.
No, but that's Chris on the guitar.
That's Chris on the guitar. Yeah. Okay.
And so we used to play at this place called Tequila Republic.
Where was that at? Why do I remember that?
Off of Wurzbach, right next to the Hooters of Wurzbach and Medical, I think it is, or something like that. And it was a small place, and that was a small little rock en español kind of thing. And this was around when college would throw these parties during the week.
Yeah.
Whatever fraternity or sorority would throw a party out there. And I was only making $300 like for Metal. So everybody would get $50 or whatever. And, I'm going to put it out there anyway, but it doesn't really matter because it was so long ago.
Okay.
But the dude just really took advantage of us. You know what I mean? We never got anywhere. We really packed it a lot, but our money never went up.
Got it.
And so I'll never forget it. She's no longer here no more. Her name was Daphne Ramon. She was working, I think, for like AT&T or something of that. And Madison Avenue had already been open for a while, but they were doing more rock, English rock. And the biggest band around that time was Dragonfly, which was a pretty good band. They were really good. Drummer Robin.
Was it rock or what was it?
Yeah, it was rock.
Okay.
And they would play like Tool, Rage Against the Machine. So they were the alternate of Metal. They were the rock English that everybody would follow, and they sounded just like the bands. And so she asked, hey, I can't pay you a lot of money, but are you willing to take a chance and figure out what we can do at Madison Avenue? And right off the back, I was like, yeah, only because of the production. They had the lights.
They had a whole stage.
They had
and
the
everything,
stage. We were playing in a corner at Tequila Republic.
So now you took advantage and you were like,
I
let's
took
go.
advantage of it. And of course, that guy got mad because I started playing over there. But then once they paid us more, then that's when I cut ways.
Money talks.
Yeah. And then, there it goes, man. It starts going. And sure enough, it started from 5 people to 10 people to 20 to 100. And then next thing you know, it was just sold out like from Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Wow.
3 shows a week we were doing. Yeah.
I didn't know that. 3
Yeah.
shows a week.
3 shows a week. Yeah.
So what happened after Madison Avenue? So
They weren't paying their taxes or something
that
like
whole
that.
thing shut down, right?
Yeah, the whole thing
Is
shut
it the same
down.
owner for all 3 clubs, or is it
No,
just,
yeah.
okay.
Well, there was like 5 of these guys.
Okay.
There was 5 of them, and something about the taxes weren't being paid. So one tried to sell one part and whatever. But I started noticing that era of DJ music coming around. So that's kind of like when it changed.
Yeah, so you guys have been friends for so many years.
Yeah.
You've went your own journey. You went your own journey.
Yeah.
So what was the moment in time where you guys? I feel like Grupo Metal for you is like the perfect. Like, of course, you would get together and like. Have
Well,
a
we've
band
always
together.
stayed in touch.
Okay.
During his solo career, I'd go see him perform.
Because you
at
were
the-
Chris Perez's band,
Yeah.
right?
I'd
Yeah.
go see him at the Hard Rock Cafe or anywhere I could.
Yeah, or we'd hang out. He'd come over to the house, and I'd be either rehearsing with my band or working in the studio or just hanging out and barbecuing. And, we would always hang out. The one thing, and Carlos, this was his thing. He's like, all right, I'm going to come over. An hour will go by, 2 hours will go by. And I'm like, where is this? I call him back. Hey, where you at? I'm right up the street. Back then, there was no Find My or no, like, where's your
Find
location?
your location?
He's right up the street. Another hour would go by.
Why are you
Finally,
lying?
show up. I know.
Why you gotta lie like that?
I was just buying time,
Dude, my brother's like that. I can't stand that. Like, just tell me where you really are, bro.
Well, no, he already knows now, so now I know not to
you
tell him
you
down
add
the
2
street.
hours to whatever he says,
Yeah.
or what? Okay.
Yeah, now he does. Yeah.
Yeah, but I always send him my location.
Yeah, he did. Like, I was outside waiting, and I waited
He
for
followed
him to
me from
come
my
over.
house all the way over here.
Gotta see where Mijo's at. Make sure he's okay.
Well, yeah, because there's been incidents, and
Yeah.
he's had to know where I was, and like there would have been no way for him to know, or the cops call and you better come get your boy before whatever,
Yeah,
and then he
no,
has to
that's
go, and there's helicopters involved, and
What?
yeah, that's
So-
a whole other show. That's
Is
a whole
the
other show.
stigma of you being like this bad boy rocker true?
You know what? I
You need
mean,
to
I
know
don't
the
think so. I
truth.
don't mean no. I've chilled a lot.
Okay.
Okay, but if we're talking about back in the day, I mean, I just wanted to have fun. I was really, man.
You're
I mean,
a rock and roll. That's the
well,
lifestyle,
I mean,
right?
yeah, and just like, look, if to get deep for a second, like frustrated with a lot of things, and maybe where I was at in life at the time, or playing a certain type of music. I wish I was playing something else, or why can't I be doing this instead of that? All these underlying issues, and
Sure.
there's a lot of anger there, and you throw alcohol and a few other little things in, and it's a good time until you got to pay for the damages. And then,
So, do you have any regrets?
No, I mean, you know what? Look, if there's one, it's like most people know about the story about trashing the hotel room, right? It's in the Selena movie and all that. I regret that because I really did come close to wrecking that whole relationship. Actually, it was over. She came over to my place and was like, "That's it," and blah blah blah, and and there was nothing I could say. And that's a whole other story in itself as far as how things got out of control at the hotel and who was involved and all these other things. But so I just felt really bad about the whole thing, and I thought, okay, that's it. We had been seeing each other for some months, and it was still a secret as
Okay.
far as the outside world, the band knew, but that was about it. So I just felt I just needed to go apologize to Abraham, and I'm sorry, and I know this is it. I know it's over. I know you guys are, the image is a really important thing to you, and all these other kind of things. And to my surprise, he didn't fire me.
What?
Yeah, and Selena was inside because they were at the studio because we had been recording the album. I believe it was Entre a mi Mundo, the one that has Como la Flor. Zaf Carcacha, I think. Si la quieres. And it was that record we were recording at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to the studio. He just like kind of gave me this smile, and he gave me this hug, and he goes, "Listen, you need to be careful. We're going we have a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I want you to be along with us for the ride and whatever. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh shit, he's not firing me, and
Dang.
yeah,
He must
so
have
I
seen
dodged.
something good in you, or
I
talent,
dodged
like
that
a talent
one.
alone.
But I learned my lesson. You know what
Okay.
I mean? Lesson learned, and it was an expensive one too, boys and girls out
So
there.
did you have to pay for something?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god.
I don't remember how long it went that I didn't
Heard it
get
here on Being
paid.
and Cheese Man.
Yeah, right. But so then the funny part is after that, he's like, "Hey, you free right now?" And I said, "Well, yeah. I mean, I just came to whatever." He goes, "Okay, because I got to go run some errands. Can you go inside and make sure Selena's okay?" And this is what killed me is like he didn't know at the time we had been seeing each other. So
wait, so when you wrecked the hotel room, he still didn't know.
No.
And you apologized. He's like, "You're good."
Yeah,
Well, that's why that's why he kept
know.
your ass in the van, because he didn't know. What was
Yeah, well, yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah, get it
Sneaky.
cheese, man. So then, so he's like, I'm gonna go run some errands. Can you go inside and make sure everything stays cool with Selena? She's in there working on recording her vocals, and she was the only one there besides Red, the engineer who had been recording her. So then I remember, I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, how's this gonna go over? Because she had already ripped me a new one at my place and split. And I went inside, and she was on the other side of the glass. And I walked in, and Red's like, "Hey, what's up, Chris?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Red? I'm just hanging out for a minute, checking it out." He's like, "Oh, okay." And then she saw that I was in there, and she goes, "Wait, hold up." And she stopped the session, came out, and I was like, "Oh, here we go." And it was she just like got next to me, and she goes, "What happened?" I said, "I just came, and I told her what had happened and the apology and what her dad said." "So you're still in the band?" I said, "Yeah." And then she just kind of like grabbed my hand and standing next to me or whatever. And I was like, shit. So I thought, she's like, just shut up. You know what I mean? I was like, all
Pictures
right.
over my face, Skyline. Oh, it's funny.
So, yeah.
She was like, "Just say yes."
No,
and
just
can-
just
say yes.
yeah. Because I said, yeah. I was like, well, I thought you said we were done.
It's not over till the woman says that it's done. Y'all
True
learned that already,
story,
right?
true
Sorry, guys.
story,
I know
yeah.
I'm covered up by Selena's picture. But hey, you know what? If I was ever covered up by something, I'd love to be covered up by Selena. She's got all the honor and the glory right now. Jesus. That's such an interesting story. And I know that it's been such a journey for you. And I can only imagine.
No, and he was there through all of that
Right,
with
yes,
me. And
exactly.
he knew her too. He actually was one of the maybe 3 good friends that I had outside of the band that knew, and everybody knew that they knew. So when we were all hanging out, it was cool, So yeah, he saw all that stuff.
And how do you handle when there's so much bullshit and you're just like I can only imagine how frustrated when you're just like, I know the truth and y'all can think what you want to think, but how do you process that and like just keep going?
It just depends on what we're talking about, to be honest with you, because there is so much bullshit. But the way I feel about it these days is there's also so much positivity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
like
so I wouldn't even say it's a balance. I would say it's more positive than any kind of negativity, And when there is negativity around, I mean, who hasn't had to deal with that? I don't think you have to be a celebrity or a known person or a musician or any kind of artist. I mean, it just happens to everybody. I mean, when kids getting bullied on the internet, it's just, it's crazy.
People are mean.
I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that back in school,
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
It was definitely a front row to a show.
Him? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you're the friend in the background, like everything's fine. It's gonna be
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's just, you carry it, it. I mean, you don't have to explain it to anybody, you know what I mean? Because it's just, you happen to be at the right time, at the right place when something happens. But it's just like any other household.
Probably the most awkward thing would be maybe a friend of yours looking at Selena and being like, "Hey, whatever." You're like, you don't even know that,
And you're like,
and
that's
he
my
can't
boy's
say,
girl.
yeah,
and
he can't say anything.
Well, yeah,
Oh
it
my
was like the biggest secret because we were all touring, So
Yes,
the
he
only
was on the
women
road
that
with
were
the-
there were my mom, Suzette, Selena, and their mom.
Mm-hmm.
So there was the only 4 girls. The rest are all dudes. My band, all of that.
Show business.
And we're
yeah.
just touring around, but no one really knew, And then when there was time off, we would go find something to go do. And at that time, it was a payphone. And he's like, hey, dude, Selena wants to talk to you real quick. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Hey, we're over here in Houston, la, 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 la. And, you know, it was a payphone back
Don't lie. I was telling you, tell her we're in Houston. Tell her we're doing. No, I'm just
You're
kidding.
like, don't
I'm
tell
kidding.
her that we're really in Seguin.
Right.
Yeah.
How funny.
So great
you
memories,
guys
man.
have
I mean, I
such
wouldn't
a-
change it for
yeah.
the world.
And so now, look at you guys. How many years later? We don't want to put the number to it.
Who would have? No one
look at
would have
that.
known. I mean, and that's the beautiful thing of life, is that you just don't know. Of course, we all experienced COVID. You know, we've all experienced so many different things that have gone on in our lives, ups and downs. But that's what shapes you up to be the person you end up being later on in life. You know, and that being said, you know, me and Chris have always worked together on other things, you know, a lot of things. And it's all been a learning process. There, you know, I consider my dad, my mom, Selena, Mafia, Chris, other opportunities that have come around as a university. You know, I'm grateful that they've taken me under their wing, because they really didn't have to. You know, no one did, you know. But for some strange reason, it was enough for me to be there, you know, and I learned a lot from it, and it just a lot of great memories that I get to keep in my heart, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, no one could ever take that away from me.
Absolutely.
So that's why I say it was a front row of things that I mean, there's the movies, there's in everybody's life, including La Mafia, you know, like those guys, like everybody, you know. So it's nothing but great, you know, memories that I take with me, you know.
But you're also a very amazing vocalist. So if you guys don't know, the guy can sing.
I try.
And he can't just sing; he can sing.
I try. But you know, I've learned from the best. You know, my dad was a great singer. You know, Selena was a great singer. Oscar,
Oh yeah.
great singer. You know what I mean? I've got to meet and be with these people to where I've got to see everything, you know. And of course, he always says that I'm spoiled, but he's actually right, because I seen a natural talent, and I know that there's a lot of females out there.
I only say that on the rare occasion that I show him some new music, and he's like, "That's all right," and I'm like, "Dude, you're spoiled, man." Like, you know,
He knows all the good stuff.
yeah.
He
Well,
knows all
yeah,
the good
you know,
stuff,
so
it's
when
hard to
I'll
look at
ruin
other
it for him
stuff.
too sometimes. I'll ruin it for
Yeah,
him
he
too. He'll
will.
bring me something, and I'm like, you know where they got it from,
Yeah,
right?
he will.
He's like, what?
He will do that to me.
That's a cover song by
Yeah.
so and so. Whatever. Shut up. I'm like, Google it,
hear it.
and
You
then
can
he'll
hear
hear it, and then he's like, oh, never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. But you know, I mean, I got to see Selena from Tuesday through Sunday.
Wow.
You know, gigging, and not only that, seeing things that happened, like her suitcase didn't come in. She figured it out. I think she got a shirt from the merch, tied it up, went on stage, and knocked out the gig.
That's so
You
awesome.
know, so just any different scenarios that were out there. I mean, I just got to see natural things happen.
The
and
university of life, like you
yeah.
said, and you just learned as
You
you
know,
went.
it's like when people say they saw Stevie Ray Vaughan at Aquafest. I can only imagine what that would have been like, you know, because that's my dude. You know what I
Stevie
mean?
Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, like that's my guy, and I never got to see him live, but I can only imagine. So I take that in the same thing with seeing everything back in the day, you know, how the things were, you know.
So who is your favorite band of all time? And I'll ask you, Chris, next.
Like,
Rock band of
Rock
all
band?
time. Like if you had to pick one, like right now, this is it. Do or die.
man, I would have to say Ronnie James Dio.
I don't know who that is. Tell me everything.
What?
I know. I know. I'm not a
He
big rock
is-
person, so I'm not gonna know him.
Well, I mean, I had an older brother, so he was it's funny because I had to sneak in his room just to open the record player up and look at the albums. You know what I mean? Because he would
Wow.
lock his door, but I figured out how to get in there. You know, I got in there and I opened it, and it was the Last in Line album, and I knew
It had a
nothing of
wicked
it.
cover, yeah, painting.
I knew nothing of it. And I just saw this thing and I put it on, and I mean, I put the
Is that
headphones.
the one? No.
Dun, dun, dun,
Oh, okay. That's how it
How's it go?
started.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. So you're just there, right? And you're listening to the intro of this song, and it sounds beautiful, you know, guitar. And then it just comes in and blows your mind out of the
Dang.
water.
Now I
Yeah.
want to go hear it.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
called The Last in Line. So, well,
And what was the name of the singer?
Ronnie J. Well, they were called Dio.
Okay.
The singer was called Ronnie James Dio. But if I could pick that was that guy.
That was your thing.
That was my guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you, Chris.
Van Halen.
Van
And that's because,
Halen.
you know, I say it quickly because I know it's my number one,
Okay.
but I mean, there are so many I would wish I could take.
Yeah.
Who would you say today, 2024, that you're listening to, that you're like, hey, they're on to something?
Rock-wise?
Rock or in general. Like in general, you know, even if it's reggaeton or
Well,
whatever.
here's what
like,
people don't. Well, no, I've said it a few times, but I
Okay.
think the thing is, like, I've gone backwards because growing up, I chose rock, right? My friends, and then me being a fan of guitar players, that kind of lends itself to rock. But before that, middle school, I was like, from birth until then, I was exposed to everything, whether it was pop radio on AM radio.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a kid in the back seat, you know, this tall. My mom's driving me to school, jamming out those
No
songs.
seatbelt.
No.
We didn't have to wear those back then.
And then, yeah, you know, the car was just crap. But anyway, but then like on the weekends, she would play classical music. And so she also, it's because of her that, like, I listen to more standards, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, things like that these days. But I'll go from there to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Got
Like
it.
that, you know what I mean? And I was just telling him there's this station on Sirius XM radio that, and there's so many, so I don't, you know, sometimes I get lucky and I'll find one, and it's Chris Stapleton. It's just Chris Stapleton is the name of it, so it's Chris Stapleton Radio. But it'll go from like AC/DC to Michael Jackson to Alan Jackson to Tim McGraw
Ooh,
to Chris Stapleton to
that's a good one.
Donny
We're all over,
Hathaway
yeah.
and Aretha. It's like, and I was telling him, it's like everything we listen to, it's just, you know, it's one song after another, and the genre doesn't matter.
Got it.
And
yeah.
you would think it's weird, but it's actually pretty awesome.
Music is music.
Yeah.
It's food for the soul, right?
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things that help people either get up in the morning, work out, whatever, or
It's
you're on a
everything.
date,
Yeah.
you know, Luis Miguel, you know.
Is that what happens? when
Yeah,
you
oh,
like-
yeah,
You're
no.
like, play the Luis Miguel, light the candle. It's going down.
Well, that
girl.
time it was a cassette for me. I was like,
Oh,
have to
not
put it
the
in there.
blowing of the cassette. Ew. How funny.
yeah, I had to play the Luis Miguel, man.
I love Luis
It was
Miguel.
a
Don't
panty
even get me
dropper.
started.
It was a panty dropper.
Well, we're going to take a really quick break, you guys. And before we go to the break, I wanted to tell you about this quick video from one of our sponsors. And of course, we're going to come back with Carlito and Chris, of course, after the break. But I wanted to kick to this video really quickly. So New Start program, for a lot of people who don't know, is a program here in Bexar County for men and women who are dealing with substance abuse. And so whether it's methamphetamine, and according to the people at New Start, meth is high in Bexar County. Had no idea. Meth, alcohol, and cocaine, so much more. They're a referral program. So the link is in the comments and, of course, in our bio. But here's a really cool video on the program. And so before we play the video, I wanted to tell you guys about this program. But also, we are going to have Myra Cano on after that. And we are co-hosting an event on Sunday for veterans. As you guys may not know, Veterans Day is already on Monday. And me and along some friends of mine through my leadership program are going to be at Alamo Biscuit Company. And we have comedy, and it's called Humor for Healing. It's going to be a comedy, Healing for Humor. Healing through humor. Oh my gosh, I'm all backwards. But Mario Superstar Salazar, if you don't know who he is, hilarious comedian, is going to be there on Sunday. So we'll talk all about that when Myra comes on. But for right now, here is all about New Start program.
This is How to Be a Chingona.
Hey guys, I'm here with Sergio Vega, the program coordinator of New Start program. Sergio, welcome.
Thank you for having me. New Start is a great little grant-funded program that provides substance use recovery support for men and women. To qualify for the program, you have to be 18 years or older, live in Bexar County, and report substance use in the past year. Access to treatment counseling, case management, and HIV and hepatitis testing.
Got it. So substance abuse, this includes methamphetamine, alcohol.
Substance use can be anything, right? It can be alcohol, marijuana, any substance. I encourage anybody who has a loved one to embrace them, ask them if everything's okay.
I think a lot of us are afraid to say something. But for those of us who have the bravery to just send the information, all they have to do is send the link and they fill out the referral.
Either the individual can fill out a referral form on their own as a self-referral, or somebody can send in a referral, and our staff will contact them within 24 hours.
So I heard that you also provide free HIV testing and hepatitis.
Absolutely. We take advantage of the HIV testing kit. We do provide a self-HIV test kit. Comes in a really nice case. All the
This is how.
All right. So that was New Start Program, and I'm here with Myra Cano from Vitality Life Counseling of San Antonio. Welcome, Myra.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Can you come closer to the microphone just a little
Yes.
bit? Okay.
Can you hear me?
So Myra is a licensed therapist, and she has a team of professionals that work in the counseling group, and we are partners in mental health awareness.
Yes.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Yes, I am one of the therapists at Vitality Life Counseling of San Antonio, and I'm really honored to be partnering up with you and the rest of the team, supporting the veterans this weekend on Sunday, which I don't know if you know, and we'll announce it then, but
Yeah.
it's actually the Marines' birthday also.
On Sunday?
Yes.
Okay, so Sunday is Marine's birthday, and we're doing a Veterans Day celebration.
Yes,
early.
it'll be really good timing for them. So we'll make them feel a little extra special.
I love that. So you and I have talked about this in length about mental health awareness. At Being in Chisme, the brand, we're very adamant about mental health awareness for the Latino population, especially. But now that Veterans Day is coming up, we thought it would be important to talk about veteran mental health. So how do you guys help with veterans, and what kind of resources are available for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've actually been learning that a lot of veterans, as they're leaving the service, they're just really not told about what's out there. And so we're actually having to find resources for some of our patients and things like that. As far as the need, I mean, we provide counseling services. It's an outpatient clinic, so they come in, or we do telehealth, and we provide counseling services. Mainly we see PTSD, depression, anxiety, and something that we focus on a lot of the patient, but we don't really talk about how it affects their families.
That's a big one.
And so, and what even PTSD looks like, for instance, like it may look like they're screening your calls, they're avoiding you, they're not wanting to sleep in the same bed as you, as a partner, and things like that. But what really is happening is they're having flashbacks, they can't sleep, they have insomnia, they start developing what we call psychosomatic symptoms, which means that physically, medically, you're well, but you can't eat, you have stomach problems, you feel like you can't breathe sometimes, and so a lot of people think like something's medically wrong with me, but it's actually more mental health. Yeah.
That is so interesting to make that correlation. So a lot of us out here are still trying to learn about depression and being bipolar and what is being manic and all this, all the new labels, right? Because we're just now learning this as a community, even though it's been around for years. Right? But there was a stigma around it. There was a lot of shame around these things. So I love that you and your team at Vitality Life are very warm and welcoming to anybody who might have some sort of mental health problem and they want to seek help. So do you guys take insurance? Can they just call you right now? Because I know people will call you right now if they have to.
Probably not right now, but yes, they can call, leave a message. We'll get to you in the morning. Yes, we are primarily insurance, so we accept most insurance is in town, and so we really see like a lot of, including TRICARE, so we serve a lot of our veteran communities. And actually, I was listening to what Chris was saying about like how he was so angry like early on in his career, and so so most of you don't know, anger is mass depression sometimes. And so, it can also be PTSD and anxiety, but when we find like, hey, like this person's like my partner, my family member, whoever, my friend is really angry, like nothing is making them happy, like we should probably look into some depression, like what's been going on kind of thing.
God, that is so important because a lot of us walk around with that anger. And I didn't know, but I was one of those people because I'm not like, my depression doesn't look like in bed, no shower, dark days. Mine is I'm active.
You're
I'm-
functioning.
but I'm functioning. So I would like punch something and I'd be like, why does it feel so good? But anyway, I know it's a serious topic and I'm not trying to make fun of it, but I mean, it's a real thing for us, you know? So thank you for talking about that. And really quickly, you guys, we are co-hosting an event on Sunday. Veterans Day is coming up, but this is called Healing
Through humor.
And I keep getting it wrong, but we are going to put that flyer up right now. Mario Superstar Salazar is the comedian who is headlining this event at Alamo Biscuit Company this Sunday, 4 to 7. And you are also going to be speaking at this event because we want to not only have something fun for the veterans, but we want the resources there. So in case they do want counseling services or need help, you guys are going to be there.
Yes. So we're actually, very, very honored to be part of this with you and with the rest of the team. And we're looking forward to that. And so I'll be speaking a little bit as to how we can support the community and really like letting them know they're not alone. I think like, and what I've learned is like they build like this brotherhood in the military. And then when they get out, they don't know how to really like navigate life without somebody who can relate to them. And it's important to know that they're not alone.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited about this event. I will be hosting on Sunday. You guys, all you have to do is RSVP on the Eventbrite link, and we will leave it in the comments. And of course, it's in our bios. But yeah, so really excited about Sunday. Thank you so much for coming, Myra. And this is a free event, correct?
Yes, free event. So all of the entertainment, all of that is free. The first 200 people do get free food.
Yes. Okay. So 200 people, you guys, Alamo Biscuit Company this Sunday, 4 to 7, the Eventbrite link. Make sure to RSVP so that we know how many people are going to show up so we can have all the food and drinks for you guys. But again, thank you, Myra. And of course, follow her page, Vitality Life Counseling, San Antonio. If you need or know somebody who needs mental health support, this is your girl. Her team is here for you. So anything else before we let you go?
We hope to see you on Sunday.
Awesome. All right, you guys, we're going to take another break and you're going to have a lovely Thanksgiving skit by yours truly. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Who's ready for dessert? You want a piece of my... Oh, perrito, you want a piece of... Oh, yes. ¿Qué es eso? It's pumpkin pie, Grandma. I got it from Costco. From where? From Costco? Hey, mija, let me borrow your Costco cart because I need to put gas in my car. I know, mija. This tastes like caca. I'm sorry. No, throw it in the trash. Tíralo. Look, mejor eat my homemade empanadas. You know everybody loves my empanadas. I spend hours and hours putting these together, and I know it's gonna be good for you. There, tómalo. Go. Well, I would eat them, but you're always saying that I'm gaining weight. And the way you make those empanadas, you put like a ton of manteca inside of them. Mantecas, I love mantecas. You know, the ladies out there, they have extra carne. Those are the best because they love me too. And you know, ¿sabes qué? They're nice and warm at nighttime and they know how to cook, especially in the bedroom. Let me tell you. No. Cállate. Cállate. Mija, don't listen to him. You are gaining a little weight and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a little gordita, mija. And you might as well eat it. Hi, everybody. So sorry I'm late. I had to stop at Starbucks for my extra vegan, extra skim chai latte. Extra skinny. How's everybody doing? ¿Cómo que skinny? You're not skinny. Hey, pretty lady, what's your name? My name is Nacho. Look, I got a Bitcoin right here. This is a 1957 piece. Nobody has a Bitcoin like me. You wanna talk? Theo, that's your niece.
Bruh.
Hey, prima, how's everything going? How's the new job? It's going great. I'm actually flying out to New York next week for a conference. Ooh, those look yummy. Can I have one of those pastries? Pastries? You mean pastel? Pastry. I'm sorry, we speak English. This is America. Mija, in this house, you have to learn how to speak English and Spanish. I work so hard to teach you girls 2 languages, and it's like you leave here and you forget everything they taught you and where you came from. And besides, learning 2 languages makes you more money. Hey, I'm trilingual. I'll try anything. Hola, my Bitcoin. Ew, you know what? I don't even know what's in those pastries, so no, thank you. And your name isn't even Nacho, it's Ignacio. You guys just need to let me live my life in Los Estados Unidos, okay? And honestly, my therapist said that it shouldn't be good for me to be around people who don't understand my light energy, and so y'all are really messing with my vibe. Karina, your real name is Karina Angelica Maria de los Santos Mora Flores Rodriguez Estrada Najera Smith, okay? So calm down and just enjoy Thanksgiving with your family, your Mexican-American family, please. Look, someone's double parked outside, Karina. Oh no, I'm gonna report this to the HOA. Karina, you better run fast, mija, because you look like you're gaining weight too, gorda. No way. No. Sir, you need to move your car. Hurry, let's go lock the door. Go, 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 go.
Let me in. I see y'all in there. I see you guys enjoying your stupid pastries. Let me in. Can't you see?
Who's ready? All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that skit. It was made a couple of years ago, and I need to do a new Thanksgiving skit, and I need Theos in the character. Will y'all be the Theos in my new skit for Thanksgiving?
A huevo.
I love it. Okay. So, Chris, I heard that you're a researcher. So, like, you just told me that you had a honey bar that had stars and honey and que la
Yes.
chingada. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
were
yeah.
you eating right now?
One of those. I mean, it's one of those things like, you know how they say the internet or your phone or your computer or whatever, Alexa, Siri, they're always listening to you.
Uh-huh.
So, I click on something and all of a sudden I start getting 100 similar item things. So, so these bars came out and protein and collagen or whatever. And then the thing is like, well, you can't just order one. You got to order the whole box. And $50 later, it's like, shoot. So that's what I was eating.
Yeah, but like I get that too, but I'm also not going to go down the hole. Like I'm not going to go and clicking around. I'm just like, okay, there's an ad, like, but you'll go down the hole.
Well, I made some bad mistakes that way, but this was a good one. They're pretty good, actually.
I like that you're open to trying.
Yeah.
Speaking of open to trying, I have a surprise for you. And Carlito, you're down. I don't know if you're down for this too, but ta-da!
Oh,
Okay. So that looks like a jalapeno.
So this is a jalapeno, but I also have a serrano.
A serrano. That's going to be hotter.
Because we all know that you like spicy stuff. Do you still carry the Tabasco, or what do you carry? The
I usually
salsa
do.
in your
Yes.
man purse
No,
or
I
your
carry
car?
actual peppers like that. Like when
Do
I
you
go to
really?
LA or
And you
whatever in my
just-
backpack, yeah. They know me at TSA. They look at the peppers. They're just like, put them back. They're his.
Well, I'm not a wealthy woman, but I do offer nice things.
are you gonna take a bite out as well?
No way.
Well, wait, the more important question is, where did those come from? They just like, you just went, shh.
Here at the Bean and Chisme Show, we make magic happen.
Oh my
I was
God.
roasting them
Nice.
for you. Vato.
Okay, all right,
Doing
all
a
right,
little-
Sure, they're nice and
Making a little
warm.
salsita back here for you.
All right. Let me see.
Would
them.
you be down to do? If not, don't do it. I don't
I'm
want to pressure
down.
you.
Let me see though. I'm already sweating.
Yeah, I'm already sweating just looking at it.
So I just got to taste.
Just one bite, and I have water.
I would do the jalapeno one, dude.
I got a water right here. We're good. You
All right,
what?
you go.
What'd you say?
Are you
Do the
down?
jalapeno.
Me?
Do you? Do you
No,
have the
'cause this one's
spice
probably
tolerance?
Yeah,
hotter.
no,
too?
yeah, I'm like him, but he's
Okay.
a little bit more than me.
Okay.
I mean, but I just, he's a professional at that. I need food.
I
know.
need food too. I can't
Yeah.
just do it raw like that.
But I can do it.
I'm gonna try because these can be either like nothing
Or something
or
crazy.
super hot.
Just do the
These
tip.
are usually always hot.
Ponle tip.
I'll try it. But I get to take these home.
Absolutely.
That's the deal.
Well, I was gonna actually take it and sell it on eBay afterwards.
No. Let's not gonna keep it.
Oh my gosh, he's doing it. He's doing it. It's a big jalapeno.
Eesh.
I got it
It's
from La
one of the
Michoacan.
nothings. It's one of the. This one's not hot.
Are you sure? Because sometimes it hits a little.
No, he already knows. If once he bites
Once
it,
he
he already
bites
kind
it,
of knows.
okay.
Yeah,
Go for them.
he should be
I'll try
that
this
guy.
one.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a little hot. Hold on. It's not hot.
yeah.
I give it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'll give this one a 3.
Okay. Wow.
Well, that is a jalapeno.
Okay, now he's biting the serrano, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he smells it.
Only a little hotter. I'll give that
I
one.
can smell it.
Like you don't even need water yet.
I could
Like,
smell
this
it in
is
my
water.
ears and my,
I smell it too.
I felt like
It's like pepper
the,
spray.
The pores on my scalp go. Nah, they're not that hot.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, no, you have to go hotter than that. You have to do ghost
like
pepper.
ghost pepper.
yeah.
Okay. See, I was
Your
kind of.
habanero.
I mean, yeah.
Trust me, there's
So they had it
there's
La
been some-
Michoacana. So.
I heard if you cook them, they get hotter, but I can never tell.
There's
Got
been
it.
some that are out there that are super hot.
And
No,
you
I'm
don't
gonna
have
take those though.
you don't have acid reflux when you have all that chile.
No. No, I don't get acid reflux from hot stuff, oddly enough. You know what gives me vodka gives me acid reflux.
That is so random.
Like if I have a couple of drinks with vodka in it, I wake up the next day and it's just like I feel like something's stuck in my throat, but it's acid reflux.
Ooh. So do y'all eat hood rat candy? Like, do you like chamoy and the
Yes.
tajin and all that?
Yeah, yeah. My son, I mean,
You're from San Antonio,
he's
so
in it,
you and you guys are.
Yeah,
from,
I'm not really into that unless it's like on a margarita or something.
your hood
or-
rat card is taken away.
Yeah.
You know what I haven't seen speaking about candy. Remember those packets of chamoy that were like a jelly? You could get a red and an orange and a yellow, and I don't know where to get those.
Like from the and they would have the actual chamoy plum in there. The plum?
No, there
Or
was no plum. It was just like the
jelly.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
a gel.
Huh, we'll have to do.
I know somebody
research.
watching knows what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
find it for Chris, you guys. The whole chamoy packets with jelly. There were different
and
flavors.
you could, if it was closed, they were squishy, right? And then
Okay.
you just tear a piece off and just kind of squeeze it in there little by little.
Do you remember the brand or no?
I think it just said chamoy on it.
Okay, we'll
Maybe
find
they're
it. We will
generic.
find
I
this.
don't know.
We will find this. Okay. So back to what we were talking about earlier. So you guys have come together to do a collab. Grupo Metal is the new band, but
Yeah.
it's been around for a very long time.
It's been around for a long time. It was known as a cover band. Very close friends, man, brothers, all of us. And of course it's me and Chris now. But it's like in anything after COVID. I had these songs that I've had in the vault for quite some time. And these songs and back in the Metal days at Madison Avenue, I was already trying to figure out what could be done next versus what we had. But we just could never do anything together as a group. That's what I felt. And it wasn't until I met Gabriel Zavala.
Oh,
And he came in and he just wanted to work with me on some ideas. And man, I mean, quick, me and that guy just gelled.
See.
And one thing happened and all that. And I had it, but the timing just wasn't, what it should have been for that particular project. So I had it. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be behind the scenes. I knew I wanted to just learn so many different things and all that. And then, of course, I ended up getting this house in San Antonio, and I had a gig at Oyster Bake.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and we were headlining. So that night, I wanted to have like an all-star artist come. I had DJ Kane, I had AB,
Ooh.
I had Oscar, and I had Chris. That night. My
Dang.
parents were there.
I wish I could have been there.
It was awesome. And we actually have footage. And that's the thing about everything that I have in this hard drive. There's just so many different things on there that you could do with it and showcase it and present it to people, because it's just it's a time capsule. My dad got up there and he sang
my
mariachi,
gosh. Oh my
before
gosh.
he passed. And I mean, it was just a lot of great memories. And so during that time, that's when Chris kind of came back into my life, and we started living together, and then
Y'all were roommates.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
roommates.
yeah. Well, yeah, because there was because I was always on the road or
you didn't
whatever
really-
things like that.
You were homeless. I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, actually, I had a home, but then just life started lifing, and just things changed. We'll put it that way. And this was where I went for shelter.
Your
Yeah.
safe place.
Well, I mean, I thought a week or two.
Oh
You
no!
know.
You were that friend who was like, "Hey, Chris, getting a little comfortable here."
Yeah,
No, it was
no.
like, nah, he didn't want me to leave.
You were like, "Hey,
Yeah, no,
you
I
mind
mean,
staying?
it was just everything organically.
Things are
man.
more exciting when I'm
yeah,
around.
Yeah, and it's always a good time with this guy, right? I mean, but the story of all of that is just, interesting. You know what I mean? And soon after that, he joins Metal. He joins Metal. I mean, he was in the house, and
Yeah, I was
we
in the
needed
house
we needed a
Jamming
guitar
out,
player,
yep.
and and there he was, and so it was super cool because it was all with the best buddies that we all knew together, who we all grew up together, It's like a neighborhood band gonna go jam, somewhere, and it was always a great time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, it was really before the internet was as crazy as it is now.
Before
so
social media.
It was MySpace.
yeah, the way I felt about it back then was it's kind of under the radar, even though people were still trying to promote it. It wasn't so accessible to so many people. So for me, it was a lot of fun playing these places and like
Cabo.
yeah, it was kind of chill, you know.
Remember Cabo.
Yeah,
Bebes.
yeah.
Oh my God. You know what we were talking? Oh, sorry, I totally had a brain fart right now. You told me that people were naming their kids Madison because they met at Madison Avenue. And then
Yeah, I met a lot
of
of
babies were
couples,
born
yeah.
out of that club.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, random.
I mean, a lot of guys went because there was a lot of women there.
I mean, I may have met my ex-baby daddy there too. I'm just playing. Just kidding. I met him at Sugar's.
Oh shit.
Joking. Okay, so,
Which is no longer there, right?
Yeah, it's still there.
there.
We're going after
Sharkies.
this.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so so you guys are roommates, you start vibing, start jamming out, and it just naturally comes together again. You guys become a band.
Yeah, man. I mean, we were kind of just in different states of our lives.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
it kind of started growing from like doing this stuff here, like kind of on, I don't want to say on the down low, but kind of on the down low here around town. And then we started getting calls from different parts of the state, and which is obviously more money. And so we all were like, all right, everybody was down for it. So we would go do the occasional gig in different parts of Texas and even California, New Mexico. So now we're doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been a while with some breaks in and out. You know, life starts lifing, you know, and we go through family things, and you got to pump the brakes on certain things for a while, and we're no different. So we've been trying to get it done in between all of these things, other things that are happening, you know, but it is priority, and the thing about it was always supposed to be like just for fun. And we were playing other people's music and loving it because we're fans of the music that we're playing, and it's not much thought like, you know, some of the other projects I've been in where you have to write and produce and arrange and go in and
It's a whole
record
thing.
and do all that stuff. Yeah, so this was a lot different. It was a lot more chill, a lot, you know, whatever. Then that's when he was like, look, I got these songs, right, that I've been holding on to
Ooh, in the vault.
for some time. Yeah, well, let's check them out. So we played them, and he says, I've been thinking about going in and recording them. And I was like, okay, so that means we're going to redo the music, right?
Yeah.
So next thing I know, we're in the studio and redoing everything. I did all the guitars, and but the songs stayed pretty much true to what they were, you know. And speaking of Gabriel, he was a huge part of the whole recording process, and he was actually the guy behind the board mixing and
Ooh-wee.
recording.
Yeah, no,
and
he understood me, you know, he knew
He saw
what
your
I was
vision.
looking for, so I
Yeah.
could take out whatever it was. I mean, because these songs, they're different themes, you know, and at that time, I thought they were great, but then living life and experiencing what today's music is and how things have been in Pro Tools and all these things, and just hearing these different concepts, you know, because I guess for me, I never really knew what my niche was, and I
Okay.
never wanted to be like somebody else, even though that you tend to do that, you know, because of people you look up to. But if there was one thing that I wanted, like Selena and them, they had their own style.
Right.
Chris
Right.
Bettis band had its own style, La Mafia, and et cetera, et cetera. I wanted to be one of those types of groups that were gonna have a different style,
Yeah.
better than anybody. And, you know, through my research and seeing other documentaries that have gone on, and hearing artists say, yeah, man, well, I had this album for the past 20 years. I was like, holy shit. So it just kind of just made me look back and whatever. And I just said, you know what, man, because they're just, if I showed you the original, they're night and day compared to the way they sound now.
Dang.
And it was
Timing,
like,
though, the
it wa-
timing.
yeah, and that's what it was. Not only that, the idea was to get with him and see, and then as if I've always known him. Chris will give you certain things of what you present to him, and then he'll take it upon himself and be like, oh, you're looking for this. Here, what about that? You know, and again, we're talking about video, right? Capturing. I recorded the whole session of this guy on the guitar.
Dang.
So when you look at it, you just see, what about this? You want me to do this? And, you know, there's always this and this and that. So when we were done with him, we had like, if not 20 stacks of guitars. Like,
What?
yeah, they were just one outside, one on the amp, one behind the amp, one in the hallway, one in front. I mean, it was just,
That's
I
wild.
wanted to try all types of different things, you know?
But you were telling me that you could be like, hey, I want it to sound like this, but a little bit of that. And he'd be like, this guitar?
Yeah,
And
yeah. He just knew
like,
what,
so
what
awesome.
if I said something, you know
That's
what I
so
mean?
awesome.
And he would know what kind of tone, whatever it was.
Yeah, or like there'd be a part of the song, and I'd be like, "Hey, well, you can do this,
Yeah,
Yeah.
or you can do that, or you can do whatever." He's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Well, which one?"
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
You can't put all of them in the same, you know.
But it's so good that it's hard to choose, right? It was
Well,
like,
I mean,
oh.
the capturing, like the solos he's done, like when you let him free, you're like, that's it. What do we got there? Let's rewind it and whatever. But he's just that guy that I've always known him to be since we were kids.
I
He's
love
just
that.
always been that talented guy, you know what I mean? As far as guitar playing goes, you know? And I couldn't be more happier than to do it with my brother, my best friend, the history that we have together, to partake in this one thing and to see where it's taken us is the other, you know? And
I'm excited.
I mean, it's exciting to see other people be excited about it. You know, like the management that we're with Hector Crone, he's with Marcos Antonio Solis, who is very interested in this project from the beginning, didn't even see us perform. He'd never seen us perform. He had just heard the music.
Okay.
And the next thing you know, he's like, I'm going to put you guys on Besame Mucho Festival. And of course, I took it as like, yeah, whatever. Just like I did with anything of AB telling me, yeah, you're going to open up for Selena.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or I'm going to go to your house. Sure you are. Okay, cool. Whatever.
And
Then
they all happen.
And then it all happens, right? And it's kind of like, holy shit, you know? So again, there's no right or wrong. There's really no blueprint to success or to other levels in music or in anything, you know? And yeah, I mean, to see it be what it is, to finally think about the years of Madison Avenue, Tequila, Club Antro, you know, Planeta, you know, everybody that was a key part of my life, Selena, Mafia, Tiger, even at that, you know what I mean? These people I've taken from all of them and be what it is today on stage presence, whatever, learning from Abraham on the business side, my dad, my mom, you know, and to have this project, this 5-track EP, to be out for the first original 5 songs of Grupo Metal, to me, that's it. I'm like, okay, I'm good. You know, we did the 5, you know, whatever it is. But it's been one of these things to where I felt like we created our own sound, which was the cumbia rock.
Yeah, because it gives me like, yeah, cumbia, but it has, you know, obviously a lot of guitar in it.
Oh, you heard it?
Yeah.
Volare. That's the one I've heard.
Only the only one you didn't show.
Yeah,
No,
no, I didn't show her that.
No, because
Yeah.
oh, that's after. That's after.
The after party.
But Volare is the song that's out, and you said there's another one coming out
Yeah,
soon, right?
Volare is the first single of Metal that it's out on all digital platforms. You can find it
And
on.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It is so good. It's a vibe. It's a whole. It gives me like Carlos Santana. Like you just want to vibe it out. Like
It
what is-
reminded me of the Munsters. You know what I
Why?
mean? Just the vibe of it. You know what I mean? The guitars.
Now I see it. You never said
I
that.
didn't think about that till now either. Okay.
You know, and I mean, there's just so many. You could put that song because I did teasers like with Salma Hayek from Dusk Till Dawn. It went with that, and
it does.
going into like trying to reach people and trying to gain. It was more guys that were like calling Chris, hey, who is that girl on that video that Carlos posted?
And I'm like, I don't know what he's doing. What? I gotta go look online. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I mean, I would use like tattoo girls.
Okay, imagery to match the
Yeah,
vibe of
you
the
know,
sound.
and all
Yeah,
that.
got
Just
you.
to the song just went with everything, and that was the one thing about these songs that they all take you on somewhere. Like the
love
next
it.
single is called La Flor. I had a dream that I was in Brazil and I met a girl, and I had a rendezvous with her. She showed me the whole town of everything, and the next thing you know, she left me a flower in the bed. So there I am. I get the flower and trying to find her.
Is this based on a true story?
No, it was a dream. It was actually a dream. I wish it was real.
It sounds so good. I need it to be a real, like for me, I'm such a hopeless romantic. I'm like, tell me it was real. Tell me.
So it
Let's go
takes
find
you.
her.
It takes you to Rio. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It takes you
So
on
you
that.
have a vibe of the
Yeah.
real. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and then you hear Chris on the leads, and I mean, I'm very pleased with it. And it wasn't until we all redid everything, and when I heard it back, it was the best decision I could have ever made, or the
Awesome.
timing of it as well.
Right?
And then I thought, oh man, I wonder we're gonna sound like live. You know what I mean? I didn't know.
Because you have to practice all
Yeah,
that live,
I
right?
didn't know what it was gonna be like because there's a lot of music elements inside the songs.
Okay.
You know, it'd probably be like a 15-piece band if we had, but it's only 4 of us. You know, but
Yeah, and we never played them live
Yeah.
before we recorded them.
Yeah.
So
But now
oh,
now we
you
do.
have to do it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
now
I was
we
just
do.
telling him with the Besame Mucho Festival.
It's in December in Los Angeles.
but the one we did it this year
Okay.
in Austin, Texas, we filmed it, you know, and which is going to be the Volare video of behind the scenes of Besame Mucho.
When does it come out?
Next week. It should be out next week.
Oh,
you
that's
know.
exciting.
So I never really had the chance. I mean, because I had people editing, trying to, but again, like he says, live comes in and sometimes they can't or whatever. So when I got the footage and I heard it back, I was just like, holy shit, this is live, you know? So I just knew that right then and there was the best thing that could have ever happened. You know,
That's so awesome.
and I'm very excited about it, you know, and Volare is the first single that came out, which is on all the digital platforms. And then La Flor is going to be our second single that's going to be released as well.
Okay. So this is an EP.
It's a 5-track EP.
Okay.
You know, again, I'm not trying to follow like everybody else does. Like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm going where donde el viento
Where it
me lleve, like where the wind takes me and these opportunities. Because like Besame Mucho, if I hadn't done that, I don't think it would be, you know, to have this. You can't ask for something like that. Like the staging it was. I mean, I was so nervous that I've never been nervous in my life. You know?
So if you guys don't know what Besame Mucho is, it is the largest Latino music festival in the country right now, which is in Austin.
It was in
this past summer.
Austin. It was like
it summer?
5 different stages from pop to rock en español to
How many people do
norteño.
you think were there?
Over 100,000.
So you're like looking at over 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And how what's
And the
happening?
one thing that made it an accomplishment, Bobby Pulido is the one who told me. He goes, "Hey man, you know we were the only 2 Tejanos on this bill."
That is wild.
It was Grupo Frontera, it was La Ley, it was Juanes. Man, the list just goes
Oh, it
on
was
and
crazy,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, so the
It's
one
like a
we're doing
crazy
in
amount.
Dodger Stadium on December 21st.
Which I'll be there.
That
'cause
was
I'm going
that's
with y'all.
headline Shakira. Yeah.
That is.
So you
Are
see
you
what I'm
excited?
saying?
Like,
There's
how are
no-
you not jumping? Chris is so like.
Yeah,
he's
nothing
just a
fake.
cool guy.
Yeah, this guy's
He's a
been
cool
there
guy. He
already.
doesn't-
He's done things.
I'm like, are we done? Did we do what we had to do? Yeah, we're good.
Can I go home now?
All right, I'm out of here. I'll see
Yeah,
y'all later.
yeah, that's him. I'm out. I'm like, all right, man.
I'll get.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'd rather get in trouble somewhere else than get in trouble where we just played. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to. Anyway,
But
I
for
don't wanna
but for
say-
your brother here and the whole, it's a new
No,
experience.
he's
for
over
some-
there having a good
He
time.
knows me,
go-
man.
He's the people person. Like
Okay.
he's the one that.
Yes.
Yeah, I just see, and we're so opposite in that thing. It's like for me, if I'm a fisherman, he's the bait. I put him at the end of the hook, and he's all dressed in his hats and all that stuff, and I throw him out there, and I just reel it in, and here come all these people with it. It's like, hey, so-and-so wants to talk about a hot sauce, so-and-so wants to talk about a wine, hey, so-and-so wants to talk about this new record, or this tour, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, talk to him.
Well, everybody needs a Carlito in their life,
Yeah, for sure.
You need
Well, you
that
know
one
what?
guy.
Everything happened organically, man. I mean, I'm an introvert. He's an introvert, and we balance each other out, you know. And I mean, musically and outside of that as well.
Tell him about HEB when there was that stretch where we had no money.
Okay.
Like no money.
You had no money to go to HEB.
Well, here's the thing.
No, we had no money.
We had no
Seriously,
money,
nothing.
none.
How old? Age?
This is
Last year, summer.
I mean, I had money, but I was in a situation to where my money that I was making went towards what it had to go to, and that didn't
Okay.
leave me with anything else. And adult adult stuff, whether it's
Mortgage.
just other adult responsibilities, you know, and my kids, and you know what I mean, all that. Make sure all that is good, and in order to do that, I'm just there like after all that's paid, you know. It was like that for a while, and that was when I was staying with him
Okay.
Electricity would be turned off as we would be talking to people.
because he didn't have
come
any
over.
money either. So
Yeah.
we're both like,
So again, like, you know, life happens,
Wow.
right? You figure out one thing, he's living with me, and we just roll with the punches. That's just it. And so when I look back now and I think about that time, you know, of being that person in his life, it wasn't until we went to HEB.
Okay.
And this HEB was off of West Avenue and Blanco.
I know
Yeah,
exactly
it's
which
still
one.
there, I think.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, anyway, it was an old one, right? And so we would go in there and we were just going to get some things that we could get with the money that we had. And this girl comes out from the produce, you know, and she's just like, oh, yes, Chris Perez, and, you know, this and this and that. And I'm kind of like, yeah, but he already was walking further
Away.
I didn't
away.
know. And
I was kind of
oblivious to
looking
those
like,
Okay.
situations.
I was looking like, what do I want to get? You know?
Okay.
So she was just like so excited and all that. And I'm just kind of like, you know, again, I've said this many times. I don't know what it is to be a fan or to see him as everybody else
Right.
does.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Checking it all out. And she goes, can I meet him? And then the bulb just pops in my mind, you know, and I'm like, well, that depends, you know? And she's just like, what do you, and I said, well, I'll tell you what, if you give me a pound of that turkey,
Dang.
you give me that
Yeah, dude,
on
we
a
left with
slice
food.
too.
Not even beef.
No, well, hold
Oh, you
on.
get
I'm
there.
like,
Okay.
give me some turkey, you know, give me some ham, give me some, you know. She's like, consider it done. I said, I'll be right back.
I didn't even know.
So I go up to him. I'm like, bro, come here. Hey, I just need you to do something real quick. All you got to do is take a picture, just sign whatever it is. And I said, and we're done. And he's like, what did you do? I said, just do it.
Yeah.
Go take the picture. And from that day on, I knew something.
We're in business.
Yeah, to concerts, beer.
That
whate-
happened too.
Yeah,
at
whatever it was
concerts or-
gonna be. Like we had no money, and we could go to the concert because we'd get in for free, but we had no money of getting beer. But I would meet the girls that were selling the beer, and they would see him, and they'd be like, "Can I meet him?" I said, "You can meet him if you can give us
He would
free
chain
beer."
me to a pole like 10 feet away, and I couldn't get anywhere.
So trust me, man. I mean, it was, you know, it was fair trade.
And
you
he's
know?
like, "Hey,
It is fair trade.
Whenever he would tell me like, "Hey, come on, you got to go take a picture," I'd be like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Hey, but we got free beer for the whole concert." I'm like, "Let's go. Where are we going?"
What do you need?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Left or right? Left
Yeah.
side, right side.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited for you guys. I mean, the music is amazing. Obviously, you're well-established musicians, very talented. So we get the gift of hearing what you guys are gonna do.
Well, hopefully one day we'll get to tell all these stories, you know, because there's so many that, I mean,
We could probably make a comedy series.
yeah, it could be like that.
based on some of the stuff. We'd have about 3 seasons for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we
What would
got
it be
we
called?
got. Remember that one time they offered us that script, and you had me and I had you. It was about a band that was playing in L.A. and they would cross to go.
Tijuana?
Yeah, Tijuana Express.
Yeah, there you
It was called Tijuana Express, right? And it was Zoe Zaldana's production company.
Okay.
Wanted
Yeah.
to do something, and so we got the script, and Chris is reading his, and I'm reading. And I'm like, I'm reading as I'm reading.
It's
and I'm
supposed
like,
to be a comedy.
yeah.
Okay.
But it was about 5 guys that would go to work in Tijuana
Okay.
as musicians.
Okay.
So as we were reading it, I'm like, I think this is more for you, whatever. And he goes, yeah, I think this is more for you. But then it dawned on me, and I was like, man, you know, because they had all these stories, but I think they were all made up. And we were
Like a
like,
comedian was writing
Oh,
them,
like
but
somebody
they
else was
hadn't
writing
lived
it?
the life.
and we were like, man, this is us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is our experiences of what we went through. Like, are you kidding me?
I'm like, but it wasn't funny when we went
Yeah,
through
no,
it.
it wasn't. But like, I mean,
It was funny after the fact, but after jail, then you're like, haha, that was cute.
Well, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
that, you know, I'm like Frank Sinatra, like that's life.
No, you didn't.
No, I
The
mean,
Frank
you know,
Sinatra.
and that's what it was. It was kind of like, wow. And then when you think about it now, and I have these hard drives that have these memories from 2005 to now.
We got to get the documentary
Oh,
going.
I mean, it's
because the
it's
story's not over yet, though.
stupid. I mean, like the J-Los. I mean, just so many different opportunities and exciting things. Emilio Stefan, you know, Gloria. I mean, the parties of that. You know, the People in Espanol festival that he got to perform. You know, here at the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, I
You know,
remember
with
that.
Luis Miguel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he performed.
I remember you telling me one quick story about how you guys went back. You were in Arizona or where? Joshua Tree, California.
Yes.
And that you were looking for the Amor Prohibido
Well,
area
he got
from
some
the music video, right?
Yeah, it's
it
no
wasn't
way
a
to find
reporter, right? Wasn't a reporter.
a podcaster.
It was a podcast, and they wanted him to come out to the Joshua Tree.
Okay.
Of course, I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, we're just going to California. I love California. We're gonna go. We're in the middle of nowhere on these things, right? And I really had never been to Joshua, and then they had mentioned it, you know, that the video was filmed there.
Okay.
They're in the Joshua Tree area, though.
Okay. But they don't
So-
say where. They're just
Nah.
like, this is the
No,
city.
there's no way. But we tried.
And you
we
tried to
had a
find the
day
rock?
off. We had a
There's
day
no
off.
way. I mean, just the topography is, I'm sure, over what, 30 years
Yeah.
almost is.
Wow.
But just to see it,
And you had those adventures. Like you just had
and I
those
had it,
little
and I
adventures.
videoed it. I documented it, you know. And I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere, and we're just looking around. And of course, you had that image of that big rock or whatever. And I'm like, there's just no way we're gonna find this thing. I
Oh
mean,
my
every
God.
part of it looked like it would have been.
It could have
done.
been the video.
Yeah,
Dang
you
it.
know,
But
I
one
mean,
day.
But it was an awesome experience to experience being off the grid or something of that, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's totally dark. We stayed in this tour bus. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when it was like a
A mobile
modified
home.
school bus, actually.
Had a
hippie style.
kitchen.
Yeah, but it had air conditioning. Thank God.
It had kitchen and everything. I mean, we bought groceries because when you get to your place, you're not.
You can't
There's
go nowhere,
there's
right?
nothing down the road.
Oh my gosh.
So we just got everything of what we did, and I even have that documented.
I need to see all this. Maybe when we'll
They had a
talk after this.
fire.
We'll
They had
see
a
how we
fire
can
going on,
get
and
this on our
everybody was
series.
just there, and he was talking, and I was just spaced out. You know, the
Looking at
marijuana
the
was legal there,
stars.
so it was perfect.
Kumbaya.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we have a lot of stories, man. That I mean, if it wouldn't have been for mine and your conversations or other people that bring up things, I'm like, that's right. I'm like, I forgot about that. But luckily, I have it all documented. I have all that stuff, and of course, I'm sure that would take days and hours to figure that out.
One day we're gonna sit down. We're gonna get a team together, and this is going down. It's
Yeah,
gonna happen
good
because you have
luck.
to.
It's
You
a
gotta
lot of stuff.
You're a historian. You could sell it for millions.
I mean, no, but trust me, he'd be like, "Where was this?" I'll be
I
like,
don't
"Yeah, I
remember
remember
that."
time."
So funny.
I mean, we've had some great times. I mean, Chicago, LA, New York.
I can't even
mean,
imagine. And you're not done. Here's the thing: you're not even done. This is just a whole new phase of life. Like, you're
Well,
not
I mean,
even,
my God, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have partake in these things. And you know, speaking of the way that I am, I'm like, well, let me go enjoy New York as much as I can, because maybe I'll never come back here again.
right.
So that was my thing. I'd leave in the morning from his place, and I'd be in Manhattan, and I'd be down in New York, and just show me who you guys are. That's what it was about. LA, same thing. I mean, he'd be like, "You're gonna leave?" "Yeah, I'm going out, dude. I'm
Because
out of here."
you would cherish life. You would cherish the moment. You just want to
And I
experience
met so
things.
many great people to this day, you know, that I stay in contact with. And it's a great thing. And I've just learned a lot from a lot of great people. And I mean, I owe it to him as well, though, you know, for those opportunities, and trusted me enough to be out there, you
Yeah.
know, and meet different people, meet different projects, you know, and it's just been it's been an experience and a blessing at the same time.
That's
you know.
awesome. Who
And then
can
now to
say?
be doing music together.
I know. This is awesome. I love the
Yeah.
full circle part. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, tell the audience how they can find you. It's grupometal.com or what
Yeah,
was the
well,
website? We
on
have it there in the
Instagram-
comments.
On Instagram, it's official Grupo Metal.
Okay.
Facebook as well, official Grupo Metal. For our bookings, it's Grupo Metal booking at gmail.com. And then we have a bio site / at official Grupo Metal. And of course, our YouTube channel that we're just starting to pick up, which I might start putting stuff up on that.
Oh,
you know what I
gosh,
mean?
yeah, you would
the-
get so many
the
hits.
stories, you know. So
Absolutely.
there's just so many things
And
that
you
we
can
have
stream
out
the
there.
music,
What's that?
Apple
stream
Music.
the
Yeah,
music.
you can
Yep.
stream Volare on Apple, Amazon, Spotify.
pretty much
whatever.
everywhere
Yeah,
you stream your music. So.
yeah.
So
yeah.
Bésame Mucho.
December
is
21st.
The next big one. Is there anything else before that?
Well, yeah. Right now we might be going to Eagle Pass to play at the Lucky
Kickapoo,
out there in
yeah.
December.
Okay.
That's in the. We're working that out. But speaking of the Besame Mucho, we're playing there during the day, and then we go to Maricopa, Arizona, to perform out there as well.
That's awesome.
So we have 2 shows in one day, which we've done a couple of times already.
Oh
We've
my
done
gosh.
those.
Finish one and jumped on the plane to go to the next.
Yeah,
That's when you're living.
That's a whole other experience also,
Oh.
and we made it.
Those are kind of problems you want to have at some point, right?
Well, I mean, they're them ones where, all right, I'm gonna set the alarm at 3:00. We gotta be out here by 4.
And it's 1 in the morning already.
Oh my. No, I'm a vieja. I don't think I'd ever be a rock star. I would
We've
be the
done
worst.
that. We've done it, and luckily, I don't know how we do it, but we've
Yeah.
done it.
Adrenaline.
Well, no, it used to be a lot easier. Now it's getting a lot harder. The older we get, you
Right?
know,
You're like,
so now we plan it the night before. All right, I got to shower at this time to be in bed by this time to get 5 hours of sleep and then drive an hour to get to
That's
wherever.
that's
He's
me.
scheduled.
You're the planner.
Yeah, he's the scheduler.
Ooh, and don't be late. If you give me a time and I'm at your place when you tell me to be there and you make me wait 30 minutes, the shit is going to hit the fan.
Yes, he's punctual.
Oh yeah, no, trust me. We revise our contracts every weekend.
So you really are the yin and the yang.
Yeah,
you
no,
keep
we
him in
are.
line, he keeps you in line.
We're the
you know?
yin and the yang.
that.
You know, and it works. I mean, it's a balance, and I couldn't ask for anything more than that. You know, I mean, he's my big brother, even though sometimes I feel like I'm the big brother, but he's my big brother.
I like it. Hey, we all need one of those in our lives.
Yeah,
You're
man.
what was it? You're the Gail and you're the Oprah, or who's the Oprah and who's the Gail?
He's Oprah and I'm Gail.
Love it.
I'm trying to think of a better.
He's all. Did we have
Or
to say
Laverne and
Wait, hold on.
Shirley,
Laverne-
or we
Cheech
could
and
be
Chong, like, I mean,
Cheech and
that's how me and
Chong,
Nina
Lenny
were.
and Squeaky.
Oh, okay.
you
Yes,
know.
I get it.
Yeah,
Dumb and
we're-
Dumber. No. Too
Yeah,
much?
that too. It could be
Wayne
that
and
as
Garth?
too. Yeah,
Oh.
Wayne
I
and
like
Garth.
Lenny
I
and
could keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, we could keep going with a
Well,
mini.
thanks you guys. Thank you so much for coming onto the show. I know it's been a minute, and we wanted to get you here because I know you guys are busy, and the timing is perfect. So I'm so happy that our audience gets to know all about Grupo Metal, go down memory lane, and of course, you guys support them on all platforms. Support Chris. Carlito has his own Instagram, and of course, the band Instagram, official Grupo Metal. Anything else before we head out?
No, just thank you for having us. We want to ask
thanks.
everybody to follow the Bean and Chisme. We know you do stand up as well.
Yeah, let's
You know, to
go.
go see you at any places you're going to be doing your stand up. We have to come and check you out.
Yeah, well, speaking of, Saturday, I'll be at LOL Comedy Club for the Chingona Comedy Show. I'm just doing a set. I'm not the headliner yet, okay? So calm down. But if you want to come support and y'all are in town, that would be great
Right
to
on.
have
When
you
is
guys
it?
there. Saturday.
This
This
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
I'll pencil
I'm
me in.
actually in town.
4 o'clock matinee show at LOL.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
LOL.
Didn't
That's
we
by
see
North
Edward
Star
there?
Mall. Yeah,
Yes.
we saw Edward there.
So I'll make sure to get you VIP tickets.
Right on. Right on.
Awesome.
Right on.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. As always, we enjoy having everybody here at the Bean and Chisme Show. Please share this with everybody. The tea and the chisme is always hot. And we thank you and our sponsors for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time. Bye.